Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Punkify here on behalf of MMOBomb.com, and welcome back to yet another First Impressions. Today I'm taking a look at a game called Trove, which is a new procedurally generated voxel-based MMORPG developed by Trion Worlds. Now, Trove is currently in alpha. It's going to go into closed beta on September 25th, so I decided to hop in the game, show you some of the creations that have been created during the alpha period, before it all got wiped, and give you, of course, my first impressions as the game is headed into closed beta. Now, of course, because this is an alpha, that means a lot of things that you'll see here probably will change to some degree, but I do feel confident that a lot of the core systems available in Trove are already in the game, and it's really pretty far along even for an alpha. So I decided to take a look, give you guys my first impressions here, and let you know what I thought. So as you'll notice here and kind of can see in the background, this game definitely has a sort of Minecraft slash Cube World vibe to it. Like games in this genre, that also includes, for example, SOE's Landmark. This game is very focused on going out into the world and harvesting blocks and then creating different structures as well as crafting your own gear and what have you. Trove definitely has a very PvE focus to it. The way you get a majority of the items in the game are going through and completing dungeons and adventures, which you'll do in these adventure portals, or you'll go through those. Those adventure portals are created, the biomes rather, are created by the developers. But within that world, you can have your own cornerstone, which is your own plot, basically, whereby you can have a house and have different sort of things attached to that to make your adventuring a little bit easier. And you can go forth and find some procedurally generated dungeons and adventures, all randomly scattered throughout the maps. And those maps do reset every once in a while. I think if no one's in them, they reset after 30 minutes. So you're always finding new things in each of those. And as you'll continue up this sort of spire here, you also will gain access to different biomes that the developers have created. But over here to the left, there's an area where you can start to zone into other clubs. These are club zones, essentially guild zones, that are completely created and controlled by that particular club. And so you can create whatever you can imagine in those areas. And I've seen everything from I think Starship Enterprise to like a magma mountain, and there's really a lot of crazy stuff. I saw someone make a city, and oh, there's like something in the sky right there, but I saw someone make a city in space, which was pretty crazy. Like it looked like a giant space station, basically. It was pretty awesome. But I'm here as this level 4 knight. The game does have different classes, and each of these classes have several abilities and a passive that sort of work with them. A little bit similar to a MOBA in terms of the amount of abilities you have. You'll notice here as a level 4 knight, I only have 2 active skills. On my left click is a general attack. I can actually show you here. My right click uses a smash, which knocks enemies back. And then my 1 is a charge, which charges forward. Each class, there's multiple classes in the game, and each class can be swapped to at these specified class changer stations. You get access to the knight and the gunslinger at first, and these are leveled independently. So gear that you place on the knight is for the knight, and gear you place on the gunslinger is for the gunslinger, and they each have their own appropriate weapon. As you level up, you can also accrue these little currency coins called qubits, which you can use to purchase the other classes currently available, the Trickster and the Dracolite. Both of these can also be purchased with the Cash Shop currency, but because the game is PvE focused, there really isn't sort of like a more OP class or something like that. They're all just different with their own unique attributes to that. That being said, I always prefer having access to all the classes at once, or at the very least have the other classes as advanced classes that you gain after leveling up a particular class to a certain level. That way, it doesn't feel this arbitrary gating through the in-game currency, although that does seem to be a pretty integral part currently. Speaking of that currency, you'll notice in the top right-hand corner there's this star bar. We'll get into that a little bit more, but that sort of is a way that you can earn qubits in order to gain and purchase things from this shop. So here's the other class, which is the gunslinger. I have access to this left click, and then my right click is a charged shot, which I can fire for some AoE damage. From what I found so far, Knight, generally speaking, is the better solo class out of both of those. The Gunslinger does a fair amount of damage, but the Knight simply has, with the knockback and his ability to have more HP, he does quite a lot of damage, and his attacks are generally AoE to begin with. So why don't we go ahead and jump into this adventure portal right here. And the adventure portal takes you directly to wherever you've laid your cornerstone or where the place starts. I'll go ahead and refill my flask here, which is essentially like a potion that you can refill at different stations here that you've placed. This cornerstone you can take around wherever you want, so I'm not just dictated by where I am currently on the map. Wherever I found an empty cornerstone, I can drop it, which means I'll always have access to my shop here, my little home base, if you will. Inside, we have a crafting bench where I can craft things like deconstructors, which allow me to take items I don't need and break them down. The forge to improve items. Cube converter, which changes the color of cubes I found within the world. Wooden chest, and then a formicite, formicite. There we go. Crafting bench. I actually have one of those, which are over here. And that gains access to even more items like the homeworld heart, the barbershop. In fact, I think I'll go ahead and build me a barbershop. I can use my shapestone and warp seed here. And a barbershop allows me to customize my look. So obviously the way you want to sort of progress in this game is go by and destroy the enemies out in the worlds, collect those resources so you can craft new benches and new items, and then collect just normal blocks if you want to craft additional sort of cosmetic portions to your area here. Or if you're out in you know, ultimately a club world, you'll want to use a lot of blocks there to craft whatever you want to make there, which I would imagine is a lot more than you want to make in your individual plot. All right, so in my inventory here, I have quite a few number of items. I crafted a bench, which actually, if I hit T, it'll be on my bar there. You can see on 7. By switching through the different modes in T, I can go through a combat mode into a build mode. And anywhere out in this normal world, I can use my right-click mouse button to pick up blocks here, as you'll notice, and my left-click mouse button to place blocks. So as you notice, I already had some blocks there I can place. And these will actually be persistent in here until this whole world resets. As you can see, someone else's world is over there. He's making his own stuff. He's crafting up his own interesting looking compartmentalized area, if you will. This actually just began with that house. I didn't even build that. It just gave me a house like that. So it does give you at least something, so you're not just starting with a flat piece of ugly looking land. Alright, so enough talking. Let's go ahead and get this barbershop out. I'll go ahead and place this in the corner there. Got a nice little area to start with. And in the barbershop, we can hit tab. I can change the way it looks. So I'm currently a robot. I think it fits my personality nice. And then we have the undead. We have guy and lady. And then we also have dragon and, again, robot. So some of these have a couple different options here in terms of the changes. I think there's a monster outside coming in. We'll go with a... Oh, God. Looks like I didn't have a chance to change myself. Sometimes there are those random monsters that patrol around and they'll find you and come and attack you. I've even seen monsters come from the sky and drop down. Holy crap, that is a blue plunger with +4 attack speed. I'm going to take that and use that. So currently I'm using a mailbox, also called First Class Stomper. I also have a Woodry Whacker, which is basically a hobo stick. But let's go ahead and use this Depth Plunger. Which, if you notice, some of these items are actually created by members of the community. If they are created by the community, you'll notice it on the right-hand side. Actually, that plunger is on my head. That's awesome. Look at that. Boy, Don't Die looks sophisticated. All right, so yeah, some of these are created by the community. And unlike something like Dota 2 or any other sort of cash shop whereby you would create items and then get a portion of that currency, these items are only found in the game. So no one makes any money off of these items. These are just things that you can randomly find throughout the world, which I think is really nice. And because of the simplistic art style that the game uses, it means that the barrier of entry to create items for the game is quite low. And I've seen everything from weapons to armor to hairstyles to cosmetic items all be crafted by the community and added in the game. And that is not even including, of course, the dungeons and the adventures, which also can be crafted by the community. So I'm coming over here. This is actually a dungeon, which I believe this was created by someone in the community and then submitted to Tryon for addition to the game. So you can make your own dungeons and what have you and submit them to the game using the editor, and they'll take a look at it. Looks like someone in there is killing some monsters. You don't have to party up or anything to get experience, although I do think it's shared somewhat. So it looks like we can come in here and maybe find if there's a monster or anything here to kill. A lot of times you'll see particular quests in areas like this. In fact, I don't see any right now. So I don't know if it looks like, oh yeah, slay the Yeti Lord. There we go. So if we can get to the Yeti Lord and slay him, we'll get a special loot box. that we can open up and find the treasures within. Taking a little bit of damage there from spikes. I say screw that. I'm going to beeline it right there for the end. I'm taking quite a lot of damage there. Alright. Is that a refrigerator? That is a refrigerator. And that's a spider out of the refrigerator. Oh crap. Okay, okay. I gotta really pay this. I gotta be careful here. There you go. Refrigerator down. Alright. Nice. So that's like a mini little boss there I had to kill. Got a little bit of treasure inside. I got you beat, man. I have a mount. You don't got no mount. Can't beat me, man. Too fast. This guy's trying to come up here. He's trying to get to the Yeti Lord before I do. I don't know if it actually shows the chest for him as well. But I've got a mount thanks to a little code I got from PAX Prime. So there you go. The mounts, of course, you can get from anywhere in the game. Oh, man. I'm getting assaulted here by refrigerators. I'm gonna go around here. Keep going up. Trying to get to the Yeti Lord. Gotta get this frozen wraith. So he's like racing me to the top there. Let's see if I can get there. I'm gonna get another item there. Oh, another item. I'm catching up with him. We're having this this race of sorts. He's getting slowed. I wonder if I can get here before him. So yeah, so there's dungeons like these, which are placed throughout this world randomly. And then there's also dungeons that players can create themselves and have added as well. Okay. And characters can actually knock you out of the environment. Though you can't destroy those blocks yourselves in dungeons. Alright. This guy, I don't know what's going on, but there's pain happening right here. Oh, there's pain. There is pain. There is quite a lot of pain. Help me. we gotta do this together, man. We gotta join forces. Join forces here. Use my last potion. No, I got 5 potions more. We're good. Alright. Oh no, I'm burned. What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get here? Oh, more chests? No, it's the same chest. Okay. So let's see what we got. That was a nice little race there. I have no idea whether or not we're gonna get... Oh, look, he dropped something. What's that? A pip pop gun. Interesting. Don't need that. I did see a Cedar Club. 9 physical damage. Definitely gonna use that. I got a Festive Bubbly as well. Requires melee. 21 physical damage. That's a huge increase. And then there's also this +4. So I've got several blue items here, even a different hat, although my plunger is still much better attack, maximum health and attack speed. Definitely don't see why I want to change off the plunger. And I think that's pretty, man, that was a great run. Robotic salvage. Perhaps these could be put to some use. Alright, so I got quite a few items from this run. And at the end of the run, you're able to go through these portals here that show up and get you back to the entrance. So you never have to worry about backtracking the whole way. Overall, that was a good run. I ended up with a weapon I can give to my other class, which I can. The inventory is shared. So I've gone ahead and gotten my currency, I think, if I can hit C rather. I don't know where I can see my currency, actually. Those qubits, if you will. When you're in the build mode also, you can be seen. It's transparent merely for convenience, if you will. Danger awaits at this location. So that while that was a larger dungeon, there's also these smaller adventure dungeons. You know, you don't have to go very far. I think someone else is... Yes, it's actually going up like that. That's quite crazy. Oh, hello. Whoa. Okay, then. I don't know why I can't pick that item up. How do we... I don't know if I can get in there. I think I used a bomb of sorts. Actually, I can use a bomb to get in. So I can just hit T over here. Boom. Make my way in. So those bombs are like the only way you can get through the dungeon areas. Otherwise, you can just pick those up. I don't know if you can actually craft them. Ooh, what's this? It's a cap. I don't need it, but I have it for crafting purposes. I do believe there is a way for you to. I do believe there is a way for you to use items. I can get on this thing. Bounce me up higher. Oh, no. Dang it. I do believe there's a way for you to use items and use only like the cosmetic portion of them. So you can use the same style if you want to use something else with better stats. But I have yet to encounter where that is. Alright, so let's try this. Let's try this a little better here. Come on. It's just not quite close enough. There we go. No! Okay, let's get on this middle thing here. Alright, this isn't high enough. I have a feeling like it used to be different. Still haven't gotten the thing here. So, you're going to find a lot of just randomized things like this. I've seen ones that are in the air. I am terrible at that one. Or you can just kind of continue around and find other ones. You can find ones that are in the air. I noticed one that was, like, you'll notice that X over there, that's a completed one in a whole, totally different area in the air, in like a biome of sorts. And you have to find, oh god, what's happening here? Oh, snaps. Oh, let's bring it, man. Let's do this. What do you got? Oh, there's a lot of damage happening here. I got you, man. Let's do this. So in this zone, you just got random guys dropping from the sky, coming to mess your stuff up. And looks like I got some flux from that. Now the flux, if I build this really quickly here. By the way, this is just some cosmetic item I found throughout the world. Did I get any more cosmetic items? I did get the clinician's hat. It's quite nice, but not as good as my plunger. Here are some more guys coming in. They're on my roofs. Get off my roof. Alright. I really want to make a forge. But to make a forge, I need Shapestone and Primordial Flame. Generally speaking, you find those things down in dungeon areas. Wonder if... Oh, don't want to fall in the water. Wonder if I'll be able to find that. And then I also have these mushroom chunks. These are used to craft potions. Got a wild cupcake as well. What is a wild cupcake? Caters to the crafting of candified concoctions. So there's a lot of crafting, as you'll notice. A lot of things focused on crafting in the game. And quite a number of things to craft. And you basically, as you continuously go up through the levels, you'll always have more recipes to craft, things to explore. Ooh. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. So that's the resource I need right there. I can come up to it. And kind of need to just put a blocks on myself. There we go. One more. There we go. So I can get these resources here. And there doesn't seem to be any sort of faster way to mine. I can't think it's somewhat dependent on level. But I haven't found any sort of items that make you mine or place blocks any faster or anything like that. Fall damage is also very negligible, so you can fall from pretty great distances currently. I don't know if that'll be in the final iteration at all. Alright, so play that. If I had any complaint, it would be that the game feels almost too open-ended at the early part of the level. I mean, they have you go through like the basics of, you know, completing these open world quests in a sort of tutorial area, but then it doesn't really tell you. It kind of just leaves it up to you to sort of determine how much you have to craft and sort of the overall purpose of the game. It kind of is like, hey, there's these quests, you can find them in the world, go have fun. And if I didn't know ahead of time some of the things that I knew about the game in terms of like how the crafting worked, or am I kind of like stuck in here? I think I am. I don't think I can. I'd have to like build straight up. That's alright though. There is the ability to go to other worlds. You can hit, I think, U to go to featured worlds here. These are ones that have been favorited. There's a portal locker and tools at spawn area, which basically allows you to portal and get quick and easy access to any of the areas. But Fargan's World here is perhaps one of the best examples of what you could do with a club world once we get into it. So let's go. I'm inside of it. Okay. Can I get out? Oh, I remember now. I got stuck in here. Oh, okay, I'm out. Oh, all right. So you may be wondering, what am I in currently? This is actually a world that I logged out of. Looks like it actually does retain the space or the area that you were in it. So let's go ahead and show you what this area is. Now, mind you, I'm moving fairly quickly. It doesn't look like it, though. And the reason for that, there it is because of the scale of the thing that I'm on. So why don't we go ahead and come outside so you can see what I'm in. Mind you, this was all built by hand. Most likely multiple people built this because this is one of the club worlds. So this is one of the things that you can build together. And all these cubes, as far as I recall, all these cubes have to be mined by hand as well. So we're coming up here. Going up these steps. Gives you like a better vantage point. And oh, hey, this is the top of the Enterprise. And if I gotta come out of here. It looks like he's done a little bit more work since I was here last. Before there wasn't this red ring around it. Let's see if we can come over. Cannot get out of this place. I was gonna try to show you the whole thing. In order to do that, I need to come all the way down. Multiple levels here. And I wondered if he's eventually gonna have all these like rooms fleshed out. Different quarters, if you will. Those are railroad tracks where basically you can get certain mine carts, if you will, and it takes you across them extremely quickly. But there's the sense of scale for you. That thing is massive. So we were running around at the top part of that, and someone made this all by hand. This is completely done by hand. They've carved out the area here. I'm fairly certain it was done by hand. If they ended up porting that in, I would be less impressed. But as you notice here, this thing is just absolutely gigantic. It's crazy big. And then something else over here, it looks like a skull and a little house. So all this made by the community, and this is all made during the alpha. The alpha is going to have a wipe, so this all will go away before the closed beta starts on September 25th. But yeah, I just had to show you like just some of the craziness that you can build in this game. I mean, it's not quite as detailed, if you will, in terms of graphic fidelity in comparison to like Landmark, but because of the more simplistic graphics, you definitely have a lot more control over how quickly you can prototype and get something working. If you give it enough, I mean, it looks like it's just coming out of the clouds there. If you give it enough scale, you can certainly add quite a lot of detail. All right, so as you level up in the game, you gain access to the other classes, you level them up, eventually go into these chaos areas whereby there's a world of tomorrow. Let's try world of tomorrow here. Interesting. The bar, the love area, the Falcon. See, this is one of the railcar things. I wish I had one. Maybe I can craft one. Some other areas here. I can go to Homeworld Portal, looks like. That'll take me back to Peaceful Hills. Tools and portals. Where am I at? Ice rink and more. Adventures. I think this is still their place. What is this? So here's all the adventures here. So we're in 2 currently, and it goes all the way up to these sort of nightmarish portals, essentially. What are these called? Adventure Pro Uber 3. So it goes all the way up to Uber 5 in terms of difficulty. And then we have workbenches to the left here. We can show off the other classes. Now, if I wanted to switch to the Gunslinger, which I'll go ahead and do so, I will need to go to the lower level areas. It looks like there's even robotic benches, haunted workbenches as well, because of the fact this is a lower level class, and so I will have to grind it at lower areas in order to use it. I only have access to one of my abilities here. But again, because these are all procedurally generated, you always can find new adventures, and because people are always going back and making new adventures and dungeons and seeing if Tryon will add them in, it means that you can always experience new things. And because, again, these are procedural, it means that they can be randomized to some extent. So when you create your dungeons, you have snap points essentially, where players will actually be able to say, you know, this is a random room. We can have these randomly sort of placed in this direction or in this arrangement, if you will, and that gives you access to more variability there. I think the game is fairly competent for having such a small team, and they're always adding new biomes, and it definitely seems like they're really focused on having the community add extra content to the game through their own merits, which I mean, I honestly think is just makes sense. People are going to be wanting to do that anyway, so why not just, you know, take some of the creations. Can I actually come down here? Is this like a... Gotta get more of these resources here. Kind of just makes sense. And since they're not really profiting off of that directly, whereby they're selling those items, no one really comes out losing that. Right? It's kind of like a win-win, if you will. Oh, these are these mushroom men here. All right. So my passive is occasionally my right click or my right click mouse button, my number 2 ability, will proc, and I won't have to charge it at all. So just makes it easier. The gunslinger, I mean, I have to like back up a lot more, whereas when you play something like the knights, you can just constantly knock the enemy back. So there's definitely some pros to being the knight. Oh, there's a lot of resources over here. And I would suppose there needs to be, since there's like quite a number of players in one area. It's not just like Minecraft where you have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 players in one area at a time. More if you have servers, but not necessarily where it just dictates there to be more resources in that area. But it certainly makes crafting the early stuff pretty easy. Although some of the necessary resources to craft some of the more late game items do need resources that are much more scarce, which makes sense. That kind of reminds me of Diamond, but it's so prolific and available. It's certainly not the same severity. Now, what is this? Deep forest. Now, I would wager there is something here. Yeah, danger awaits at this location. All right, let's see if we can. Now, I could, you know, just go up this whole thing and try to do that, or we'll do this. Does this cheapen the experience a little bit? Kinda, but at the same time, it just kind of feels like clever use of mechanics, you know? Like, yeah, okay, I could go ahead and go through the effort of making my way up here, or I could use blocks to encounter new areas. And to be honest, you have to do that in some areas. I remember finding an area that otherwise I had no clue how I was going to get up. Absolutely no. All right, I've made it in. So I have to touch that thing in the middle to begin the event. I don't know if I'm the right... Hopefully I'm okay class to do this. I didn't fill up my potions either. Come on. So you're definitely going to want to get into a club if you want to build anything large scale. Obviously, you're not going to want to do it in the open world. Those things just randomly reset. And doing it with clubs obviously just makes it really simple to get players together that are like-minded. And because of the favorite system, everybody else can actually check it out really relatively easy. They can pull up that list at any time, even if they're not in the club, and check out your world and, you know, talk about it, what have you. And you can be members of multiple clubs at a time, I think up to 4. So if you're ever worried about not being able to... What is this? A Biddy Blaster. I will take that. Can I use these other blasters yet? No, it requires level 4. I can't put that on, though. Go ahead and... No, it requires level 4 too. All these require level 4? At least I can put the face on. Alright. Plus 4 attack speed. I like that. There we go. There's the better gun. So I can't use any of the little items I found later on. Oh, I can put that on, though. But I can use items that I have outgrown on my other classes, which is quite nice. This bounces me out of that. So there you have it, guys. I've made my way up to the top of this and conquered it. It was quite easy, even for this lowly gunslinger. Can I destroy this now? Oh, I can. I wonder if I can destroy it because it's no longer a dungeon. Let's see. No, it looks like only that area, so that was separate. But I can go down here and portal to the very bottom. So I guess this was technically how I was supposed to get up. But you know, just use bricks, whatever. It's a clever use of mechanics. That's all it was. And I can drop out here. So it looks like if I jumped in there, I would have been able to make my way up internally. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and keep on exploring the world of Trove. If you guys want to find out more about the game, you can check out the link below it, mmobomb.com. Like I said before, it comes into closed beta on September 25th. And I do believe we're going to have a closed beta key giveaway within the next few days. So keep your eye out for that, guys. Until next time then, we'll see you later. It's Funkify out. Later, guys.